I tried not to just replicate the book as suddenly a three-dimensional show, because it adds movement. Movement has to be the big new thing that comes in that the book doesn't have. And it turns out that the kinetic sense, is it's one of the top three senses: the visual, the oral, and the kinetic. Are really so dominant, especially when we are trying to express ourselves. We use combinations of those. And it's so good to see an idea as a book and see it and then rethink it as models, some of them static, some of them not. Because you're involving three dimensions, sometimes sound, and often movement, lighting, all these things contributing totally new atmospheres. The Clausewitz Beatrix Potter model that Chris did, that's very atmospheric, dark with a little train going in the distance, and these two figures above their museums. You can look at that for a minute, really, and sort of absorb the atmosphere, which you can't from an image of the same thing in a book. Because I wanted to entice the best model makers to work with the show, I just thought of an idea, which sort of, because it's such a loose idea, that was an idea that would entice them. I mean, I knew that Will Jackson would like the idea of a statue to a pneumatic drill operator, where the drill operator was destroying his own plinth. And he wanted to do it, but he was just too busy. And so Matt Smith did it and came up with a wonderful solution. And I think all the models that others made are really, really good. The basic idea of each model, except Paul Spoon, as I just said, I wanted a dead body of somebody pretending to be dead in an amateur dramatic play. And Paul came up with this very tall thing, which is typical Paul. I expected something wide that would have the detective and asking all the people in the house the questions. So Paul did something different. And everybody did do their own thing, which is delightful because I have to adjust to that difference. And Keith Newstead, he came up with a wonderful, such gentle three movements, the two hand movements and the head movement of a scientist looking down a microscope. Michael Chaikin, the wonderful solution he did to the bats, and to the, also especially to the steam-driven stiletto shoe. That had gone through stages. And he helped on the hat to the click-clack. All those had gone through stages with other people. We've been working on the click-clack hat for a year. Falmouth is unique, thanks to Cabaret and Sue Jackson and all that beginnings of it, in having these wonderful creative craftsmen. And I do much prefer craft to art. It's a much better area to be in because it's nearer the substance and reality somehow. And I think craft lends itself more in model making, particularly to humour, which I like. Well, it is. I mean, because it's about inventiveness. If you aren't having fun, you're not really being inventive. I mean, either you're desperate because you're going to die, or you are having fun, and usually with other people you have more fun. So this is a lot of this is the outcome of working with other people in a group activity, which is much more what our species is about. You know, we aren't carrion crows. We're more like jackdaws or rooks.
Mm-hmm.